This series of videos will go through a unit of work for Year 6 pupils covering aspects of programming in the computing curriculum. We'll look at some of the teaching activities that you could undertake and what the assessment looks like. The solution will be implemented in Scratch. The theme will be making a quiz or a game for Year 4 pupils about their times tables. So this means you can draw out with children other quizzes that they may have played and what they liked about those. In terms of teaching, what we're trying to get across is we will be modelling how to solve a problem and develop a solution for this particular kind of scenario. And there will be lots of discussion around sequence selection, repetition and variables, which are the programming constructs that we'll be covering. And there will be an expectation that children will debug, which means fix and test and fix their code, and also be able to look at other children's code and again fix and debug. So having set the scenario and introduced the unit to the children and asked them about other quiz games that they've played, it's then a good idea to actually get them to think about what they would expect to see in a quiz game, because then you can use this to actually model how you're going to go about solving this particular type of problem. So the answers we would expect to get from such a discussion is that the quiz should ask some questions. It should then check whether the answers that we've typed in are correct. It should maybe keep score. There might be somebody talking about levels and multiplayer and things like that. So what you're really trying to draw out is for them to know what the elements are, because then we can implement each of these in this particular order. So actually we can get the program to ask a question, check the answer, keep a score, and then the levels is the bit where they add an extra level for their particular assessment. And multiplayer, if anybody wants to go away and investigate that, they can do that. There will be things around the look and feel of the game. So these particular elements that we've got here, these really are all about the functionality of the game. So whether it's actually going to work as intended. The other features are really more about usability and making it fit for the audience, so making it fit for Year 4 with particular themes. So, but we will be much more interested in the functionality before we get on to anything to do with the look and feel. So the look and feel can be added to the success criteria, possibly for assessment purposes. So on the Scratch website, it's I'm going to use the online version. There are lots of different reasons for using the online version, and one is that if children create their own ID online, then they can continue doing the work at home, but you can also tie it in with e-safety and what kind of screen name they want to have and all of those issues around that. So the I've already logged in, so I'm just going to go away and click on create, and probably the first thing I will do is remove the default sprite that I've got here. So I'm just going to remove that and go away and get another sprite, which is going to do the asking of the questions. So I'll just pick one up and then add that. So okay to that, and that should get added to my screen. And I'm just going to move it into the corner and leave it there. So this is just kind of setting up the environment. I haven't got a lot of screen on here, so I'm going to just use the tab to move this in, so I've got more space here to write the code. So this is, I would do this as a whole class taught activity, but again it depends on your class, and we're going to refer back to these elements here, what we expect to see in a quiz game, and we're going to do the very first one of these, which is the fact that a quiz needs to ask some questions. So that's what we'll implement in the next video.